Before we begin, take a breath. Now ask yourself, where is your time going? Because the one thing that every person, rich or poor, weak or powerful, has in equal measure is time, but not everyone uses it equally. Some spend it, some waste it, but the wise, they invest it. You see, success is not accidental. It is not a gift from the heavens that falls upon a chosen few. It is a result of intention, clarity, and discipline. And at the center of that discipline lies time, not just managing it, but mastering it. So the question is not how many hours you have in a day. The question is, how awake are you in those hours? Because every distraction you allow is a doorway to mediocrity, and every focused minute, a brick in the foundation of your future. Let us explore now, not how to do more, but how to do what matters. Let us discover the silent strength behind every great achievement, time. Managed with purpose, lived with intention, time is not something outside of us. It is not just numbers on a clock or a calendar on the wall. It is the very fabric of our lives. From the moment we open our eyes in the morning until we close them again at night, time is moving, silently, without pause, without compromise. But while time is constant, how we engage with it is not. And this is where the difference lies. The successful individual does not have more time than anyone else. They have more clarity, more structure, and more discipline in how they relate to the time they are given. When you walk into a Shaolin temple, the first thing you notice is not the silence. It is the rhythm. Everything has its place. Every movement has a beginning, a middle, and an end. There is a structure that supports the spirit, so the mind is free to focus on what truly matters. Successful people build this same internal structure. They are not reacting to time, they are working with it, intentionally. Their life is not a series of random tasks pulled by emotions or distractions. Their life is a reflection of inner alignment. One of the most important shifts you must make is to stop thinking of time as something you manage and begin to think of it as something you honor. When you honor time, you give your presence to it. You understand that each moment is not something to get through, it is something to meet. When a successful person sits down to work, they are there, not half scrolling, not half wondering what's next. Their attention is whole. That is why even a short focused hour from them can achieve what a distracted person may not accomplish in an entire day. In the world today, many people pride themselves on being busy. But busyness is not a badge of honor. It is a sign of scattered energy. It means you are letting time pull you, rather than guiding it with awareness. Success is not about doing more. It is about doing what is necessary with complete attention. If you observe someone who is truly accomplished in their field, you will see that their day is shaped by intention. They do not begin with the world's noise. They begin with inner alignment. Before they touch their devices, they connect with their direction. Without direction, time slips away like water through open hands. The mind follows every distraction, every temptation, every urgency that feels important but in truth is simply noise. The successful person sets boundaries, and not just around their schedule, but around their focus. They understand that where attention goes, energy flows, and where energy flows consistently, results are born. You must train the mind to become aware of its own tendencies. If you wait to feel motivated before you act, your time will be controlled by emotion. But if you create systems, routines, and rituals that reflect your values, then action becomes independent of mood. This is how discipline is born, and discipline is the quiet thread that runs through every great life. Success is not the result of one big moment. It is the accumulation of small, deliberate acts, waking up at the same time, planning before reacting, saying no to what is easy, so you can say yes to what is meaningful. Each one of these actions, though simple, becomes powerful when repeated with awareness. Time management is not about squeezing more into your day. It is about removing what does not belong, so that what remains has room to grow. The body follows rhythm, the breath follows rhythm, and your day should also follow rhythm. There should be time for stillness, time for movement, time for creation, and time for rest. The successful person creates a harmony between these states. They do not live chaotically, hoping for balance to come. They build the balance by making time sacred. When your schedule reflects your priorities, your life begins to reflect your purpose. It no longer feels fragmented. You no longer feel overwhelmed. You are not constantly catching up with life. You are walking beside it. You begin to feel calm even in moments of pressure because you trust the structure you've built. You know that your time is being spent on what truly matters. Time is a mirror. It reflects your choices, your habits, your inner world. To manage time is to manage yourself, not with force, but with understanding. Not with punishment, but with presence. This is why the greatest timekeepers are not those with the fullest calendars, but those with the clearest hearts. Every moment that passes carries with it a simple truth. Once it is gone, it will not return. The value of time does not lie in its quantity, but in its quality. And to raise the quality of time, one must first raise the quality of attention. Most people move through their days without awareness. Their actions are automatic, their choices reactive. But the successful person understands that time is not something they merely pass through. It is something they must direct, like a flowing river guided by the shape of the land. And that land is shaped by their decisions, their clarity, and their habits. What you choose to focus on determines the life you create. In every day, there is noise and there is signal. The average person is drowning in noise, pulled in countless directions by things that feel urgent but are not important. The successful person has learned to separate these. They have developed the discipline to distinguish between what is essential and what is merely seductive. And they know that time, when wasted on the non-essential, slowly erodes one's potential. Like water wearing down stone, one drop at a time. The power of successful people lies not just in what they do, but in what they do not do. They do not allow their attention to be stolen by every notification. They do not say yes to every request. They do not begin their day in reaction to others. Instead, they create space. They create boundaries that protect their energy, their time, and their peace. In this space, they find clarity. In this clarity, they find strength. Many people wait for life to slow down before they begin focusing on what matters. But life does not slow down. It only moves faster. It only becomes louder. If you do not take control of your time, the world will do it for you. You must decide what your time is worth. You must be willing to protect it. Not with tension, but with mindfulness. Not with aggression, but with firmness. Every successful person has something in common. They design their time according to their values. They do not drift. They do not rely on emotion or chance. They know that what you do consistently becomes what you are. So they begin their day with purpose, not out of urgency, but out of clarity. Their morning is not filled with random motion. It is filled with intentional movement. They rise not just to work, but to prepare. They ground their mind before they enter the demands of the world. It is not always about doing more. Often it is about doing less, but doing it better. This is the difference between effort and effective effort. The successful person puts energy only where it counts. They delegate what drains them. They eliminate what distracts them. And what remains is what lifts them higher. It is not that they do not feel overwhelmed or exhausted. It is that they have learned how to return to center, how to reset, how to come back to stillness when the world becomes too loud. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of awareness. It is a deep connection to the present moment, even while taking action. This is how a martial artist strikes with precision, not by rushing but by slowing the mind. This is how the master carves a single stroke with intention, rather than many with uncertainty. Time, when approached with this kind of stillness, becomes expansive. A single hour of deep focus can contain the power of an entire day. The successful person does not chase time. They enter it fully, without resistance. Most people underestimate the power of the small. A few wasted minutes, a few mindless habits, a few forgotten goals. But success is not built in grand moments. It is built in the details. It is found in how one transitions from task to task, how one closes one moment before opening another. It is found in the way one treats their morning, their meals, their rest. These are not separate from success. They are the foundation of it. To master time, you must first master yourself, your impulses, your habits, your ability to say no without guilt, your willingness to be alone with your thoughts without distraction. These are the invisible disciplines that shape visible success. They are not always praised, but they are always present in the lives of those who achieve excellence. True success is not frantic, it is focused, it is not loud, it is deliberate. The person who learns to live with time rather than race against it begins to notice something extraordinary. Life becomes simpler, yet more profound. The days feel fuller, not because they are packed, but because they are present. There is a difference between movement and progress. Many people live in a state of constant motion, always doing, always reaching, always busy, but still remain in the same place within. This is because they confuse activity with achievement. They measure their day by how much they have done, not by whether they have moved closer to what truly matters. But successful people have learned to see beyond this illusion. They are not interested in simply filling their days. They are committed to directing them. Their focus is not on doing everything. It is on doing the right things at the right time with the right energy. One of the most powerful realizations you can have is that time is not something you find. It is something you create. It will not appear on its own. You must carve it out with intention. You must make space for it by removing what does not serve your deeper aim. Successful people understand this deeply. They plan not just their tasks, but their energy. They are not merely scheduling work. They are managing attention, aligning action with purpose, and preserving mental clarity for the moments that require their full presence. Distraction is not just something external. It is a state of the mind. It arises when the mind is unclear, untrained, and overstimulated. In this modern world, with countless voices pulling at your attention, clarity is a rare discipline. It must be cultivated deliberately. A successful person does not begin their day by checking in with the world. They begin by checking in with themselves. They anchor their awareness before it is scattered. They do not allow the urgency of others to dictate the direction of their time. Their schedule is built around their priorities, not their reactions. There is also a rhythm to effectiveness. It is not sustainable to operate in a constant state of push and pressure. The body, the mind, the spirit, they all follow cycles. There is a time for intensity and a time for recovery. There is a time for deep focus and a time for reflection. The successful individual honors these inner cycles. They know that consistent performance does not come from force. It comes from alignment, so they work in waves. They give their full presence when it's time to act, and their full stillness when it's time to rest. Success is a result of accumulated alignments, more daily acts of clarity and discipline that build a larger structure. One of the most important tools in this structure is the ability to say no, not just to others, but to your own tendencies. To the urge to procrastinate, to the impulse to check, to scroll, to avoid. To manage time is to manage desire, to become aware of the small moments where you drift and to gently bring yourself back. Every time you choose presence over escape, discipline over impulse, purpose over comfort, you are shaping the kind of person you are becoming. The successful individual does not leave their priorities to chance. They plan, but their planning is not rigid. It is intentional. They do not fill every hour with tasks. They create buffers. They create margins. They leave space to breathe, space to adapt, space to return to themselves. This is not laziness, it is wisdom, because when you overfill your day, your presence disappears, and without presence, no task is done with true power. There is also a humility in how successful people approach time. They know that they cannot control it, they cannot slow it, but they can walk with it. They can choose where to place their attention. They can choose how to respond in each moment. This is not control, it is responsibility. It is taking ownership of your own energy, your own mind, your own direction. It is knowing that the quality of your future depends on how you engage with the present. What you practice, you become. If you practice distraction, it becomes your default. If you practice order, calm, and intentional action, these states begin to shape your life. Time is the stage on which your habits play out, and your habits are the silent architects of your destiny. The person who rises early, plans their day, sets boundaries, and honors their focus may not see immediate transformation, but over weeks, months, years, that person becomes unstoppable. To manage time successfully, one must first become familiar with silence. Because in silence, you hear what truly matters. In silence, you face the part of you that resists discipline, and in that facing, transformation begins. Time responds to clarity. The clearer you are, the more powerful each moment becomes. And clarity is born not from busyness, but from stillness, reflection, and the courage to be honest with how you spend your days. The outer world often reflects the inner state. When your mind is scattered, your time becomes fragmented. When your thoughts are cloudy, your day becomes chaotic. This is why truly successful people do not begin by trying to control the external. They begin by cultivating order within. They understand that the first step to managing time is managing the mind. A calm and disciplined mind becomes the foundation from which clear decisions are made. Without it, even the most carefully planned schedule will crumble under distraction and emotional instability. There is a certain awareness that must be practiced, an awareness of how you move through the hours of your day. Are you being pulled, or are you choosing? Are you reacting, or are you creating? These questions are not philosophical, they are practical. They are the compass that guides your attention, and attention is the currency of time. Whatever you give your attention to, you are feeding, you are strengthening it. This is why successful people are extremely selective about where they place their focus. They do not allow their attention to be hijacked by the trivial. Simplicity is a secret weapon. While many chase complexity in the belief that more is better, the wise know that more often means less clarity. Simplicity is not a lack of ambition, it is the sharpening of it. It is removing the unnecessary so that what remains becomes powerful. When your day is filled with clutter, digital, mental, emotional, it drains your energy. But when you simplify your systems, your space, and your thoughts, time becomes spacious, and from that space, meaningful action arises. The successful individual treats each part of the day with intention. They do not rush into tasks blindly. They take a moment before beginning, a breath before acting. In this pause, they recenter themselves. They align their energy with the purpose of the task. This simple act changes everything. A task done with alignment carries more depth and clarity than one done in haste. It is not the number of hours that matters. It is the level of presence within those hours. Many people speak of balance, but they chase it on the surface. True balance is not about equal distribution of time. It is about appropriate distribution of attention. There are seasons when work demands more. There are seasons when rest must be prioritized. Successful people listen closely to these rhythms. They do not fight the flow, they move with it. They know when to push and when to pause. This self-awareness allows them to make adjustments without guilt, to say yes when it matters and no when it protects their energy. Structure is freedom. This may sound contradictory, but it is true. When your life has structure, your mind can rest. It does not have to constantly make decisions about what to do next. Successful people use routines not to restrict themselves, but to liberate themselves. Their habits carry their goals forward even on the days when motivation fades. A strong morning routine, a thoughtful evening ritual, these become anchors in a world that pulls in every direction. Through them, time becomes steady, manageable, and meaningful. What you do in private echoes in public, the way you treat the small hours, the quiet moments when no one is watching, shapes the quality of your time when everyone is. Successful people give respect to every moment, not just the ones that bring recognition. This inner discipline becomes their unseen advantage. It builds momentum slowly but powerfully. Over time, their consistency separates them from those who only act when it's convenient. Living with purpose does not mean every moment is serious. It means every moment is intentional, even rest is planned, even joy is embraced fully. There is space for reflection, there is space for growth. Successful people do not fill every second with productivity, they fill it with meaning. That is why their time works for them, not against them, because behind every decision lies a deeper clarity, behind every hour a direction already chosen. So now you must ask yourself, how are you spending the one thing that cannot be earned, cannot be borrowed, cannot be returned? Time is not your enemy. It is not something to fight against or chase after. It is your silent companion, always moving, always present, always honest. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not found in talent, nor luck, nor circumstance. It is found in the quiet, daily decision to live with intention, to direct your attention, to shape your habits, to align your life with what truly matters. Success is not created in bursts of intensity. It is carved gently, through discipline, through rhythm, through the mastery of the moment in front of you. When you simplify your life, you clarify your path. When you respect your time, you begin to respect yourself. And when you align your energy with your values, your days become meaningful, your actions become powerful, and your life becomes extraordinary. So do not ask how much time you have. Ask how deeply you are living within it. That is the way, and the way is always in front of you, step by step, moment by moment, breath by breath.